Hey guys, how are we doing? Hope we're good. I don't know, but it's Twitter is just pissing me off badly. I don't know the stupid things that Elon Musk and his stupid team have been doing on that platform that just messes up everything. It's I can't. It's very difficult for me to see where the broadcast is. Try to connect the broadcast, send it just as quick as Facebook is doing it. I think moving forward, I may stop streaming on Twitter. Moving forward, I'm just gonna stick to YouTube, Facebook, and then maybe I'm gonna see if I can connect the platform we use for our stream to. Let me click on edit. Let me be sure if that's possible. Okay, so it's possible for me to connect it to LinkedIn. So that basically, I think that's what I'm going to be doing moving forward from our next series. So probably from tomorrow, I'll start streaming on LinkedIn instead of X. So we're going to be on Facebook, on YouTube. Why YouTube is our main platform. So from YouTube, we should be streaming to X and then LinkedIn. So I'll kick off the stupid nonsense we are. The fuck off, and then we stick to LinkedIn. Stick to LinkedIn. Trying to. It's just navigating all these platforms sometimes. It's so funny and it is well. Very, very well, even in the world. Good day, everyone. It's good to have you guys on today's live stream. So disclaimer, nothing I say today it's a form of financial advice, right? And nothing being said here is a form of financial advice. It's all because I'm not a financial advisor, obviously. Um, what I basically is not a financial advisor, right? I'm a certified wealth and finance coach. I'm a certified wealth coach, a certified finance coach as well. But that does not mean financial advisor. You may double around that as well, but that doesn't um, mean that, obviously. So we've got to be clear on that as I kickstart today's session. I'm more of an accredited investor, right? And I built myself to become an accredited investor. I'm an independent researcher. Got my team who works with me. I'm a seasoned analyst with a combined 15 years of experience in trying to explore digital opportunities and making a fortune out of it, right? And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you would have seen the first year I ever embarked to start engaging in digital opportunities and how to make money online. You could see it dated back as down to like 2011, right? I worked online for 7 months only to be paid $5. It took me 7 months to make $5. And I think if you watch that video, you would see where I uploaded the screenshot and where I had to like message the team and the CEO and the founder why they are paying me $5 for 7 months of work. And I actually, it's so funny because when I was doing that video and going through it, both myself and my video editor, both of us were laughing over the whole thing because it's like he read he read through the whole thing and was like, he can't imagine that I'm the one who was sending such a mail, and I was sending with such um strategic courtesy, right? I was trying not to hurt the person so he doesn't get upset that I'm complaining. Meanwhile, I knew that I was to be paid more than that. So that's the journey. That's the journey, right, of 15 years, and that what led me to obviously they've been back and forth. I've been consistent, inconsistent going forward. But at the same time, in 2015, that was what led me to find crypto, right? And when I found crypto in 2015, I made a lot of money, right? 2017, 20, I lost everything 2018, 2019 again. But give or take, give or take, give or take, forgetting the loss and main story, I got to have that final big break whereby I'm no longer making that kind of mistake I made in 2018, right? By 2020. So 2020 was when I can literally say got that big break in crypto and make my first $200,000. And from there to by 2021, doing X5 that number as well. So hitting my first seven figures in 2021, which is like literally 5, 6 years ago now. And from them, it's been a journey, right, from glory to glory. So um, one thing we've done, right, so far so good. It's which has definitely been my desire, is helping to see how many persons could really get to change their lives and transform their lives, and how many persons are going to get results. And so far so good. Over the years, we've been able to achieve up to 2,000 testimonies and 2,000 results in terms of people whose life has been changed, whose life has been transformed following the things we do, both directly and indirectly as well. Everything we do in the house of wealth, right? And yes, there's a good number of people who are giving me credit for that, and there's also a good number so who are not giving credit for me. But it is fine, right? What matters is that we're doing what we do, and people are having results, and people are having testimonies. And today we're going to do a little bit of two things, right? We're starting with Bitcoin forecast, Bitcoin prediction, right? It's clear to know that there's something I always say, which is basically what we do, but in a way I said it like we our focus is not necessarily to just predict the market, right? And I'm putting that so I could lay the foundation and mental foundation. But what we our focus is basically how can we be directionally correct with the least possible margin of error. So, and it appears as if we're predicting, right? As I would say prediction, but that's not what you're doing. We're just trying to be directionally correct, the least possible margin of error. What does that mean? It's being directionally correct is the most important thing. Is the most important thing, and been pretty good and spot on over the years. I'm one of the pretty few individuals you can never find anywhere in the world who comes out publicly on a live stream or comes up to make a post whereby I'm giving on this day, this is what is going to happen in the market, and this week is going to happen in the market, and that. And I've been doing this publicly for a good number of time. And those who've been following through and have been in any of our session can attest that 8 to 9 out of 10 times I'm pretty very spot on and pretty very accurate. And to that, I would owe that to God helping us so far. Like I always say, that we are helped of God, we are impacted with knowledge, we are driven by vision, and we are led by grace. So I would say it's the help of God helping us to be this very accurate, such that it is unique, right? It is really, really unique what we do, yeah, and being so good at what we do. And I could literally owe it to, let's say, being in the years in the industry for a very long time. But I wouldn't say that, because there are also a lot of people who've been in the industry for a very long time who can do what we do here. But so I would say good advantage is just the mercy of God, right? God being favorable unto us. So we're gonna get right into it, right? And we're gonna start with this year 2026. And then once we're done with that, we're just gonna do a little brief on Aurum, and then we're gonna wrap up for the day for today, right? That's why you can see on the title, the Crypto Capital Show, Bitcoin 2026 forecast, and then leading into Aurum Day 4. Now, if you watch the video, which is already on the YouTube, where we it is called the State of Crypto 2026. I did that video in around the last week of November, if I'm not mistaken. That was 2 months into the year 2026, and I gave you focus on how bad and terrible it's going to be this year. And trust me, right, this year is going to be so bad in crypto such that a lot of people are going to commit suicide, a lot of people are going to kill themselves, a lot of people are going to leave the space more than what you're seeing right now. But however, one good thing about what Shifu does is that when Shifu says something about, okay, this year is going to be bad, this year is going to be this, I always give the solution. But I always give the solution to those who are listening, to those who are paying attention. And that is why if you're watching this session, you're here, make sure you share it. If you share it on your Facebook, share it on your stories, share it on your status, get your enemies, your friends, and families to be on this live session, right? If you're watching on YouTube, share it, the link. If you're watching on X as well, do a repost as well. Let's get more people to come and learn. Let's get more people to save themselves, right? And I gave two things, right? And the two solutions I gave is the people that won't feel so much effect in the market this year are, number one, people who have mastered the art of trading, people who are traders. And then number two are people who are, and when I say traders, people who can trade the volatility, right? Whether it's going up or down, they can trade both ways and they make money from it. That's number one. Number two set of people are people who have developed other income streams within crypto that is not dependent on coin moving up or coming down, because it helps them to be constantly in profit. And now, one thing we do in the House of Word is that we even go a step further, right? One thing we do, there's a saying that says, instead of giving a man fish, teach him how to fish. And then there was one I love so much about is I learned this from my late mentor. He says, Don't just teach me how to fish, teach me how to own the lake, right? So there are three steps. There are people who are given fish to eat, there are people who are taught how to fish, and there are people who are taught how to own the lake. These are three different categories of people, and that's what we do in the house of bread, right? I give you fish, teach you how to fish, at the same time teach you how to own the lake. That is why when we're looking at saying this is what is going to happen in the market, this is that is like giving you fish, and I tell you that these are the two options you could do. That's also like giving you fish as well, right? And then we decided that, okay, we're going to be sharing trades this year. We're going to collapse the Barbie trading network, the forex trading network. Everything is going to be in one. We'll share trade indices, volatilities, everything's going to be in one. Create accounts with these platforms, copy the trades, and make money for free with us, right? You're not paying for this trade, and people are capitalizing on it, right? There are two persons. Somebody took a $20-$30 account to like $200 already. Somebody took an $11 account to how much? Is it $160 already? I forgot what the person said. Shoot on the. You can see there in the comments in the House of Red Telegram group. So people are taking advantage of it. People are not serious about it. So it is fine. It's fine. Well, one thing I always believe is that I always say thing that one way you get to know a man whose time has come is that his eyes will be opened. And anybody's eyes who isn't open, you can't force it to open. You just have to keep on doing what you're doing, right? You just can't force it to open. That's just how this world is. But those who are meant to take advantage of it, those who are meant to, and I always say that whenever we do things, whenever I do things, it could be just for one person. It could just be for just 5%. It could just be just for 10 persons. But what matters is that 5 or 10 persons are able to see that opportunity, are able to see that thing, and take advantage of it, and get to shape their life for the better, shape their life positively for the good. That is what matters, right? So going down to that, then we decided that, okay, the second thing has to do with options, by creating options whereby people are going to make money from one step. And that's why we started bringing Aurum, whereby people will make money from it. And Aurum is one of the best things I think that's ever happened to me entering 2026, even before 2026. If I'm to say one of the best ever happened in late 2025 into 2026 has been Aurum. And I'm really, really really good at Aurum. And that's why I decided to start bringing it out and then sharing it out for us from time to time, for people who could see the opportunity and see the calculated bets we took on it and the strategic risk we're taking into it as well, and they could be on the profitable side of history, right? And honestly, anybody who's even taking advantage of everything that we're doing in House of Red, I wouldn't classify it as a risk for them, because obviously you're already making money. You're making money from the trade. So if you're making money from the trades, you have enough profits to put into and set up a structure with Aurum, right? So you're making money from both ways, active income, passive income. There's no reason why anybody who is in the house of wealth should be poor. Anybody who is poor, they are not serious for their life. And let me tell you the truth, if you're in the house of wealth, you can't take advantage of every opportunity that is being made available now. As far as trading is concerned, you will never make it again in your life. As far as crypto trading, forex trading, synthetic trading, as far as these things are concerned, you will never be able to make it. It is not a cause, it is a fact, because I don't think anybody is doing this level of charity that we are doing, combining all those things together in one for people here, right? And so that is that is just a plain fact, right? And these are things that people would necessarily want to charge for, right? But it's being done for free. So let's get right into it. So first thing we want to look at is for the Q1 to Q4, right? So let me bring up the slide, and then we're gonna have it both ways. So I want it to be more proper. So we call it the full year's prediction. So we're looking at the first thing, we're looking at from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, and then we'll be looking at the correlation R set. So when we're looking at the first quarter, so basically the first quarter of the year, which is, so we said the year is basically into 4 quarters, right? So when we're saying 4 quarters, we're going to first 4 months, and then the next 4 months, and then the next 4 months, and the next 4 months, because in a year we've got 12 months, right? So in the first quarter, we're looking at the first quarter being bearish, and this is basically what I started saying. Even when I did the session whereby I was talking about, I made emphasis on what we should expect this year for crypto, what we're looking out for crypto. I said that the first quarter is basically clearly bearish, and that's basically what we are seeing. However, the second quarter is where we are going to enter what we call a rebound range. I'm going to show all this on the chart as well, what I expect on the chart in the technical space, but that is going to be after saying what we're saying, right? And the second quarter is going to be a rebound range. And when we're saying a rebound range, what it means is whereby the first set of breakthrough. Remember when you see it, I said there are going to be two two opportunities for people to change their life in crypto, and two opportunities that is going to transform people's life away, and people making make a lot of money, right? People, two major windows that are going to change people's life in crypto this day. Just two, and one's the two, and it's not going to be like very very long. It may just be for a limited time, a short space of time, and that's it. It closes, and the next one is going to be later on as well. So the first one is going to be the second quarter, which is going to be it's the first rebound phase, where I refer to it as the first breakthrough phase, right? So for those who are noting it down, you have that somewhere. Then we've got the third quarter. In the third quarter, I call it sparks of light and hope. Third quarter is what I call sparks of light. And when I say sparks of light and hope, is when we've got what we call a true bottom has been crystallized. A true bottom in the market has been fully crystallized. Now, when I mean fully crystallized, it is certain beyond doubt that everybody, even a novice, can know that okay, the market has totally bottomed out. We're not getting it, and the sentiment has totally moved from being in between to like fully confident, certain confident level, right? And that is where we're going to have the second breakthrough phase, and then the fourth quarter. I think the first quarter, the second quarter, and the third quarter are actually going to set the tone for the fourth quarter. It's definitely going to set the tone for the fourth quarter, how it is going to be, how it's going to play out. And the market could actually literally stretch into what is expected to happen in the third quarter, could stretch very much even into the fourth quarter. So it is important to like have that in your mind somewhere. Have that in your mind somewhere. It is also very, very important, right? And so talking about correlation assets. So when I'm talking about correlation assets, I think this is where I'm going to bring up one of the charts. The market is opening up in a couple of hours time, right? So let me see if I can share this. You are worthy of my praise. You are worthy of my praise. Master, you are worthy of my praise. Oh, you are worthy of my praise. I can't even see this thing. Why is everything looking so messed up from my point of view? Okay, let me change this thing and take it closer. Okay. Share the screen. So when I'm saying correlation assets, is specifically the S&P 500, right? If we look at the S&P 500, we've made like really good trades. We've taken really good trades so far, so good on the S&P 500. It has made us quite a really good amount of money, and then currently it's like selling down. But however, if you can recall clearly, you would see that on the S&P 500, I gave a projection that I'm looking at the S&P 500 touching 7,100, and that being like a possible top for it. And that was one thing I stated as well. And currently, it's making a lower high in the chart, and based on the weekly chart, it's like a lower high that's currently forming. If you look at the monthly, it's actually forming a major key downtrend too, as well, which is clearly a lower high as we can see. These are trades we took 1 2 3, or we nailed it in like really good profits. So far so good. So if we're looking on the 1 hour chart or even the 2 hour chart, we are expecting this to come to as low as this point, right? So if it loses here, then you know that obviously the S&P 500 is fucked big time. Or however, you're looking at this, it's the S&P 500 could come as low as this, possibly. I'm not saying it's three, but if it comes to this, and then probably it continues to like making that new high. But one thing is, whatever it does, even if it peaks here and then moves up and wants to continue downward, at least whenever it comes here, there will surely be a reaction for a couple of X's, maybe 2X, 3X, 3. When I'm saying X, I'm talking about ROR, maybe 3, 4, 5 RORs. When it gets there, maybe we could catch a trade on it. But the catching a trade on it is not the focus of me talking about it now. The focus of me talking about it is the correlation, right? S&P 500 could, the top of S&P 500, which I'm projecting, could crystallize as well for Bitcoin, right? For Bitcoin, because S&P 500 always like gives like a front run, an idea of what could happen, right? So tomorrow is the market is open, right? The market is opening, for example, like tomorrow, and there's going to be some sales on S&P 500. I believe S&P 500 could give some sales for a while, and somewhere around maybe the 13th of March, a couple of days before, a couple of days after, we could start getting like really solid buys on the S&P 500. What does this mean? It means that over the next 2 weeks, except the S&P 500 finds a level to start buying, it could be bearish, right? It could be in that way, and it could just be ranging, and then but it gets to that point, right? It gets to that point, and one of the things, so the S&P 500 is really very correlated with Bitcoin. But one of the things people want to ask most times is when bottom? When is this going to be over, right? When will the market bottom? When will Bitcoin bottom? Is one thing a lot of people are asking. They're confused. And this person is saying it's going to bottom here. The other person is saying this. And the person asking, Shifu, what are you saying? Because yours is the most accurate. Every other person that is just saying this are just bullshitting and just doing guesswork. They're not doing in-depth research, right? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I know people want to be Shifu, but they are not Shifu, right? That's why I'm Shifu. So, but it's all good. It's all good. So, if you use what we call the GAN theory, right, which is basically one of the things I use. Anybody who is a student of financial astrology or esoteric cycles, you on one of the things you get to definitely study is the theory of GAN. GAN is one of the founding fathers of what is referred to as price action or technical analysis in trading, right? Just like Richard Wyckoff, the father of the Wyckoff strategy, and the rest of them, whatever strategy that whatever is being built on. So the same way, GAN, when it comes to time and price, GAN is basically the lord of time and price when it comes to that in trading. So, but if you look at the 20 years GAN cycle, the 20-year GAN cycle started in 2009 after the major crash when the effect of whatever has been going on, and we can see the rumor from the Epstein files and crypto. And it started in 2019 to 2009, sorry, and then it marked the first low somewhere around 2017. So if I'm to show the chart, let me look for a Bitcoin chart now, and then probably put the Bitcoin chart up. Whew, my goodness. How do I? Okay. If you look at the, what's it called now? So if you look at the Bitcoin chart from the monthly, right, you see a lot of interesting things, right? And then there is don't know, do I have to look for this thing now? When you go to your tools, you go to, is this here? No. So this is, you see the Elliott wave stuff, you see that, but then again you see cyclic lines and time cycles as well, something like this. It's been drawn in a very funny way. I'll have to like, I'm not drawing this well, right? I'm actually not drawing this well. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to use a very simple analogy. So, but this is basically how it looks, right? This is how the GAN 20-year cycle looks. So If I have to draw it, I'll have to drag it from previous I'll flat out one as well. Well, however, the Gantt cycle gives us a very pretty good of data in terms of times and price. And looking at it now may be confusing, may not be understandable but what people means. But in summary, right, trying to summarize what it does, like in the 20-year Gantt cycle, that means the cycle drawn across 20 years, started in 2009 after the global meltdown in 2008, and then it marked the low of 2017 run, right? And that same circle, which is what I just showed as an example of how it looks, is projecting that between 40K Bitcoin to 50K Bitcoin is the region as the next low. That's what it's projecting. It is projecting between 40K, 50K being the next low for Bitcoin based on a 20-year cycle form of data. So the question you want to be asking right now based on this is what to do, right? It's normal. What do you do? What do you do now? I'm looking at, okay, if the Gantt cycle, 20-year cycle is correct, if this is what is going on for the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, what do I do? What do I do? That is a very good question to ask. In fact, I would say it's a very one of the most important questions to be asking, rather than a lot of question people are going to be asking. So there are two things basically I would say for you to do, right? The first thing I would say that is most important for anybody who is watching now in this session to do is, one, do not be in a hurry. Do not be in a hurry, right? And a lot of people are so much in a hurry, and that is why they are so much emotionally affected in the market. And when I talk about being not in a hurry, like I said, set up Aurum, right? Set up Aurum and create a multiple income stream for yourself. Set up Aurum, create a multiple income stream for yourself. That is something that gives you money despite whatever is happening in the market, and that keeps you stable. That keeps you hopeful. That keeps you happy. That keeps you liquid to capitalize on opportunities as it comes in between the second quarter and the fourth quarter of the year. But if you are not liquid enough and in the right emotional state of mind, you won't be able to do that, right? You won't be able to do that. Someone says I bought here. I don't know what you mean by you bought whatever you're referring to. I can't remember you mentioned buying anything. I don't know what you're referring to. So let's go to number two. Let's go to number two. Number two. Number two is I wrote out number two, right? I copied out number two. If you want to be stupendously rich, this is me saying, this is me quoting, I'm quoting someone else, and the person I'm quoting is a Chinese billionaire who happens to be the BTC miner who never sold anything to Ethereum. I swap USDT to Aurum. I never told anybody to swap anything to Aurum, so I don't know why you did. So obviously you sort it out with the support yourself. So back to what I'm saying. A Chinese billionaire BTC miner he never sold who never sold any Ethereum. This is actually a quote from him, and I'm quoting his post because I took it out of Twitter. It says, right now, the mainstream US stock market capital's understanding of Ethereum is still at the same stage as the crypto circle was with Bitcoin in 2014, 2015. Right? It was in the same stage in 2014, 2015. The BTC slogan digital gold is very easy for outside capital to understand, while Ethereum smart contracts are far more complex. Reading. The first major surge in the Ethereum BTC exchange rate began in 2016 to 2017, driven by the explosive rise of ICOs and a large number of tokens being issued on chain. So actually, he wrote this in Chinese, right? In Chinese, so I'm actually translating it. The second major surge in the Ethereum BTC exchange rate will begin in 2026 to 2027, driven by the blockchainization of traditional finance, which is also one of the things I talked about when I was giving the forecast of the year about 7 things that will happen this year. This is also is referring to the same thing I actually said. I've already told you guys before about USD, the US stocks, the US treasuries, with a massive amount of ROWA tokens coming on chain. So that is why even the fact that Aurum is also about to launch their RWA section actually is a very good thing or very good initiative, right? And this fits the fund strat research thesis. Now, looking at, I just look at what he's saying. To summarize what he just said now, a lot of people are not getting is that the opportunity that was in 2016-17 between Ethereum BTC that was focused on basically ETH, that same opportunity is going to appear in itself between 2026 to 2027. So what does this mean? Instead of people's eyes to be on Bitcoin, your eyes should be on Ethereum. That's what people want to be stupendously rich. Your eyes should be on Ethereum, right? So personally myself, I have an ungodly amount of Ethereum and I'm still buying, right? So you want to use, for example, let's say if you're on Aurum, right? You create an account on Aurum. If you set up the Zeus board, on the Zeus board, I have some position of my Ethereum there. Obviously, I have an ungodly amount of Ethereum, so I can't put all my Ethereum just on the Poloni platform. No, I don't do that. But however, I have an amount like a good size, like just there, right? And I have it running on the Zeus board, so I just running it there, and like it's giving me more Ethereum. I'm having more Ethereum now, the prices as well. And then every week I'm withdrawing, every week I'm withdrawing, and we're withdrawing to my code wallet and other wallet as well. But I'm growing my Ethereum. That's the most important thing. I'm growing my Ethereum. I'm doing everything I can to have and hold more Ethereum, right? So whether you're buying and holding, it's up to you. Whether you want to like multiply through the Zeus bot and Aurum to you, it's up to you. But just like he said for Ethereum, there's a question I wrote here is if I'm to ask you what your own Ethereum would be, what will you say? What will you say? And that is why number one is very, very important. Number one is very, very important because when I say number one is very, very important because, for example, if you're making money out of Aurum, you'll be able to be buying, right? You can be saying, okay, the money I'm getting from here now, I can be using this to start buying this coin because the focus now, this is what some people are not getting. The focus is not just bent on Aurum ecosystem. The focus is leveraging Aurum to achieve our bigger vision. What is the bigger vision? You want to have a sizable portfolio in the right assets, and the right tokens, and the right coins. And you want to do that whereby you have a constant income coming in, a constant flow coming in without pressure. And if Aurum gives us that, you set up a structure. If it's $5,000, if it's $10,000, if it's $20,000, you set it up. You set it up so as the funds are coming and the income is coming, you are now using it to deploy into. Let me see. Let me use an example. Maybe if you're like me, deploy into an Ethereum start. I'm not saying insurance. I'm not talking about insurance that left in the platform. Insurance that left in your own wallet, in your own way, right? So in this way, everything is all about strategic planning around the season, around the time. And if you're not doing that, I mean, you're definitely going to be like really, really messed up. This year is going to be messed up for you, really, really messed up for you. So with that being said, one thing a lot of traders want to look at is for people. Okay, if we looked at what is happening in terms of the first Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, you're giving us a summary, and then you clarified in terms of where the bottom is going to be for Bitcoin. What about the short term as a trader? What about the short term? So I'm gonna pull up my PDF, right, which I drew. Thankfully my team helped. I actually did it in a very scattered way, and I wrote it because sometimes trying to do this analysis and calculation could get you confused. So I did it in a very scattered way, and I'm going to, what is this? Okay, final words from Schaefer. Let me put this. I did it in a very scattered way, but thank God they were able to like help it look a bit more organized. So I'm going to like share that part of the slide. I'm going to do that. But pending before doing that, that next week, right? Next week, I'm looking at next week being bullish in terms of in Elliot's ways, we've got what we call with A, with B, with C, we've got with D, which I'm going to show on the chart briefly. But I'm looking at next week being bullish, right? And then we'll have what we call the wave A to B, right? I'm looking at the wave A to B beginning from this week we're entering, right? So we're in a new week already. So we're looking at this week. And wave A to be running into March, right? Wave A to be running into March. And then we're going to have wave C, which I'm going to explain what it means to. And wave C is, so what I'm looking out for is this week being bullish, and then after this short-term bullish, let's say about a week or 10 days or whatever, then we can now be looking at selling, right, from the ending of the month, at the ending of February into the month of March, right, into the month of March. And somewhere around the third week of March is where I think we've seen me actually kick off, because we're going to have what we call a dead cat bounce. If you don't know what the dead cat bounce is, I don't know how to explain it to be. Maybe you're going to use like use maybe Google or something to help you. But we're going to have a dead cat bounce on the third week of March, and I feel very well that there will be some market momentum either from the ending of March or from April. April. When I say market momentum, may not be really really wide, but it could be the start of accumulation, right? So I'm going to use my document that was helped organized by my team to probably expatiate it very well, so you can follow through. I mean, just trying to interpret the document for you guys to learn one or two things for yourselves from it. How do I do this now? Okay, so welcome to Shift World Bitcoin Forecast Meetup. So I call it the ultimate esoteric price prediction, where basically I combine Elliott wave theory, which I use. I combine wave patterns with my knowledge and my esoteric knowledge in terms of financial astrology to be able to come up with a conclusion. And I've got like a summary there whereby I talked about this year. We're about to enter the year of the, what's it called now? The year of the fire horse, right? So we're about to enter the year of the fire horse, which is tomorrow. I'll be next tomorrow. But however, the year of the wood stake is coming to an end, and usually this signals some form of rally in terms of from February 11th to 25th, right? Which is a relief bounce, which is what I stated just now. Looking forward for a relief bounce in the market, and then we talked about from then we can now start looking into entering into a sell for March, right? And then somewhere around March, we could now look forward to a possible bottom. Now, there's something I always say that sometimes you don't want to take this set in stone. This could be plus minus 1, 2, 3 days before the exact day, or plus minus 1 to 3 days before after the exact date as well. But we've always like been spot on this in terms of how these things work into each year as well. So it's important. The reason why I had to leave the part of this is everything comes together, right? Everything comes together. The idea of what we call the year of the smooth snake is basically what the snake represents is it's more about when there's an old pattern in old skin shedding itself and then beginning new. So it's in relative to Bitcoin. It talks about Bitcoin needs to do what it knows and share this pattern, has to come and finally bottom out and destroy people and do, and then begin a new era, a new season, right? So it aligns very very well. Even the fact that we're about to enter the year of the firehouse by tomorrow, which is being celebrated in Asia, in China for about, is it 30 days of celebration or so, starting from tomorrow. And that is where we're going to be. Like that is also signals wave 5, which is going to come later on. So first thing, I think I've said this before in terms of full moons, new moons, half moons. One of the easiest ways to be able to help to know, because the full moons, new moons, half moons help to give us a signal of what's it called? It gives us a signal for full moon, new moon, half moon. It gives us a perspective of what's the word to use. What's the word to use? It helps you to know the pivots in the markets. What could be a local bottom, what could be a local top, and knowing how to like move from there in terms of when aligns, right? To pick a level, right? So if you've done your technical analysis and all that as well, you look at when is the full moon close, the new moon, when is the half moon. It just helps you to know, okay, could there be a possible bottom here? Could there be a possible top here? So all that like comes into play, and like could literally be a very good help for you, right? So far so good. So but let's get right into what I love the way my team helped do this for me. So we've got about wave A, wave B, wave C, wave D, which is actually wave A. So we've got the ABC pattern, and then we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. So there's a bigger 5 pattern and the smaller pattern in. So the smaller pattern is wave ABC inside the bigger pattern of wave 5, which I'm going to show on the chart after doing this explanation. So, but based on wave A, wave B, wave C, and then wave 5. So wave A actually started last year, right? October last year to be more precise, and then got to its end in February this year, and then 6th of February. And so we're currently in wave B. That is where we are currently. And this wave B is a trap, right? It's a trap. So we're looking forward to BTC being bullish, get into as high as 76,000, and we could even go way higher than that. So currently, right now, if you ask what are we looking, that's why I said that I'm looking at this week into next week being bullish. And if it tops out, it's more like a trap. That's why I really like it's going to be a trap. And then from there, we should be expecting it to start going down. And Bitcoin is going to get as low as 50,000, maybe to even $40,000 in price. And then that should mark the bottom in the market, which should now lead us to saying, okay, we want to start making a new level, a new high. So when I say wave five is a symposium discussion, is the broader aspect of things for Elliott wave. And when it comes to Elliott waves, it's just like a wave. It's not waves are not consistent. When it gets closer, it becomes clearer, right? So if you see here, so I'm going to like still, there's a way I usually write this when I write it on X, right? So I think I'm going to make a post on X either today or I'm going to do that tomorrow with this, but I'm going to see, I'll tell my team to draft it that way. I usually draft it to summarize some of the points in a way. So it's definitely going to be exactly like this. So people don't get lost in the so many blah, 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 blah written within it, right? But if you look at it, you're looking at, today's 15th, right? So that's what we want to look at. So we're looking at the fact that the market should start picking up yesterday, which was 14. So already this was done way before that, but it's already picking up as well. So that was yesterday, Saturday, right? The market was already picking up from yesterday. I think it got to 70,000. I don't know if it got to 71,000 already, but it's already like that part has already started happening from that yesterday. And today, tomorrow is 16 to 12. So we're still expecting it around that range, and it could literally stretch, right? It could literally stretch. So it's more about this short squeeze. It's going to cause a lot of FOMO for people. People are going to feel like, okay, it's over, let's get in and stuff as well. But what people do not know is that whatever form of wave that is happening right now, it's all part of preparing for the last week of February, right? So by the last week of February, which is we just have basically 2 weeks left in this month, if I'm not mistaken. Today is the 15th of February, and then we're looking at from now to 2 weeks. So within this week, we're entering on the upper week. We're looking at the market being bullish and then popping out in the market. So wave B is what I wrote like is a trap. You don't want to look at just buying, right? And thinking like, okay, it is over, the market is back. We will see a lot of those kind of tweets, right? A lot of people we start tweeting that okay, it is over, the market has bottomed, this or this, but you want to be very, very careful when you start seeing all this kind of momentum giving you hope. You have to know that most times, most of these people who see all these things, they are just charlatans. Some of them are doing it for clickbait. They're doing it because they know that it will spark your emotion, it will make you engage in their post and all that's put together. So it's just to drive engagement. So you want to like know that for a second, because once this topped out somewhere in the upper week, which is around February 26th, we should see the market getting into a point whereby it's topping out and you're looking out forward to having some level of pullback on the market. So the reason why I'm just like leaving this here, not really referring, because there are some people who want to screenshot, even if you don't really need to screenshot, because automatically this video is live, so you can always like come back to this and like always look through and watch it. Like I said, I also like do a post on my Twitter X, so people can always follow up on the post as well in a more interpreted way, right? In a different way that people can easily like understand this aspect of it as well. So if you look here, they're like more details in terms of what you're looking forward in terms of timeline for people who are short-term traders or offer traders. Maybe you're looking for dates, but there are these things you have to now blend it with your TA, right? You have to blend it with your price action, your analysis as well. This helps you. This is what now helps you to be correct for those of you who are like advanced traders, right? So if we're looking at February 26th and the market have get into like a top out around that zone, around that level, right? We're not looking at it to start being bearish. So we could even get to a low of around 62,000, maybe around the 2nd of March as well, around that range. And then towards the 5th of March, we could be looking at $60,000 to $55,000 worth of Bitcoin. And then somewhere around the 6th to 10th of March, we could even get to as low as 44, 45, 48,000, yeah, thereabout. So between then and the 19th of March. So that's between the between the second week, right, and the third week, we could get to as low as 48 something thousand, 50,000, and thereabout. We could be around that range, right? And I said that in the third week, we're going to have what we call a dead cat bounce. A dead cat bounce is what pulls the market up to some level, right? Which is where you see why the stuff is showing green. And once that is done, it then gets to be really, 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 really destroyed. So there's a possibility, right? If I see I wrote here about the bottom, there's a likelihood that that could come in sometime in the month of March. If it decides to come in very early, we could get it somewhere around March 7th. If we don't, well, but this is something you also need to know. A lot of people needs to know this, right? In terms of bottom, right? You cannot pay much attention to April now. One thing people need to know in terms of the bottom in the market is that when the market is bearish and bottoms out, it starts accumulating. And accumulation is not something that happens in just 2 days or 3 days. Accumulation could happen in 2 months. Accumulation should happen in 3 months. Accumulation could happen in 5 months, in 10 months, right? Accumulation could happen in all this put together. It could happen in a very, very long period of time. So you want to have that in mind, right? So if well, as much as you're getting bullish, whereby you don't, like I said, this year is a year whereby if you're stuck on just um, pushing or trying to want the market to do what you want to appeal to, you're going to be messed up big time. You have to understand how it flows, right? So even if you start picking up, we get towards late March and then April. So I am expecting that April should be very, very favorable, and that's why I see a lot of like good points in April. In terms of some targets, I could even see Bitcoin getting to as high as $90,000 in April. It's like $100,000 around there in the month of April, right? You could see like that really, really, really I'm expecting, right? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to like seeing Bitcoin maybe touch 90,000 to $100,000 in the month of April 2026, which is just basically like 2 months from now, right? But however, like I said, it's also going to be in the form of accumulation as well. It's going to be like in a ranging. When we say accumulation is like having a ranging market, which you also want to be aware of, like sure of. So I wrote this here more like a strategic trading game plan. So this is something I usually just give to people who are in the bull run group, but I'm doing this basically for everyone here. So in terms of if you're trying to trade right now, there are three things I wrote here. So the first thing is do not FOMO, right? Do not FOMO into any trade. Any trade you're entering now, have a stop loss, set your targets and looking at it being bullish for this short term, maybe a week or maybe 10 days. And after that, we're looking at selling, right? And I'm going to show you my orders where we're looking at to sell from, and then what could be our possibly target, right? And then the month of March is where we're expecting that the market we're selling into March by the last week of February, selling into March, and then March should drop more. And then when we get that drop very well in March, we should now be looking forward to getting the bottom as well. And once we get in on the bottom, then we begin to look out for this. So what you're seeing here that I wrote March 20 to March 30, I should have edited that. That should be after March is April, May, June. So that should be between May, June as well. But already I didn't have time to do all this edit as well. So but if you look at all this like gives you a perspective in terms of what we're looking forward to, what you could expect as well in the market. So obviously I added this here which says the forecast shift words disclaimer. This forecast combines Elliott wave technical analysis which I use with esoteric methodologies which I add to get to my research. So past performance does not guarantee future results. This document is all for educational and entertainment purposes as well. Knowing cryptocurrency investment always has its own risk. So always conduct your own research, use proper risk management, and consult qualified financial advisors to make your decisions. So let me quickly go to the chart while I take out my research piece there. And so I think initially I gave us like some entries. So you can see here, this is something that we highlighted earlier on, somewhere around here when we were expecting, but it's saying that it's lagging a very long time. So this is one very, very lagging indicator, right? So and that is why we've been looking at it, but we're still looking at it. I'm still not like letting it go because it's once it's right, it's spot on, right? And when I say right is right is that crossover. We're yet to get that crossover. Once we get that crossover, we know there's going to be a run, but getting that crossover is going to take a long time, long time. So we can see that same playing out here. This was when we got that crossover, right, somewhere around into January, and this was when if you also remember, I started talking about the bottom in November 2022. right? And even though I started talking about November 22, it took a while. It was January. It took after 1 month. So it took the whole of November. November, the bottomed out. But even though it bottomed up in November, the market did not start moving till January. I said the market is going to bottom in the second week of November, which it did. It did, but however, it took 2 months before it started rallying. So this means even if we're saying that okay, we're getting a bottom somewhere around what's it called now? We're saying we're gonna get a bottom somewhere around March, sometime in March. It's may take the whole of March. It may take even the into April before you start seeing those lights step of momentum as well. So it's not going to be as fast as you think. And remember, a day, 1 week in crypto feels like 1 year. So it's gonna be crazy emotionally for a lot of persons, right? So initially I had this entries lined up, right? So looking at getting into a buy, but initially I wanted the buy to be from here, and the plan was to buy it up a bit, TP here, a 5 RR we are done. So I would say these trades are pretty more valid. But looking at what we are seeing in the market now, we may not even get those entries, right? Except probably you've got like um your what's it called now? Some people have like some interesting trade strategies, like how they usually enter the market, which is very good. Could be different from how I enter, and you could definitely still apply it and make money. Why me? I'm still waiting to enter. So if you have a different strategy that could favor you an entry, so that could be good, right? But I feel like this is the only way I would want to like risk if I get an entry here to buy up to this level as well. So when I said if it buys up, I will now start looking at selling. So looking at selling could take a while, right? It could take a minute. When I said it could take a minute, is for example, I'm looking at here for a sell, right? At the same time, while looking at there for a sell, I still have another sell here. So you can see based on what I just told us in terms of how high, if it starts buying, how I am expecting it is. I said somewhere around 76, could top out to 78, right? 79 could top out. And then if it decides to go more impulsive and haunts people more, it could go as high as 90,000 to 92,000 to 94,000, around that range. And that is the reason why, based on what I'm projecting, that is why I said. So you see here, I don't just come and just set a zone as well based on, let's say, price patterns or whatever. No, I always combine a blend of my esoteric forecast and analysis and projections for the market to determine my buy and entry level. They are more like swing positions, right? It's not intraday positions. So intraday positions, they obviously follow a different form of strategy. So their intraday positions could be people who could even trade from this point of buy here to this point of sell here, but it doesn't favor my kind of personality or my trading style. So that is why I can't just buy here and then close here. There are people who do it and they make money. Fine. If you're one of them, kudos to you. What I just shared now will give you an edge to even make a whole lot of money, right? Why myself is still like waiting for this some sort of momentum, right? Because if you look at 1 hour, 1 hour is actually being bottomed out, right? Because if I want to enter this, one thing I want to be looking out for is, okay, where am I going to get like a stop loss? Will I put my stop loss here and stuff? And then I look at it, I put in a straight here, look at it. It doesn't even favor. It's not even up to a 2 RR. So it doesn't make any form of sense to me, to be honest. Honest. So one thing I would want to do is I want to watch. That's one thing I would love to do. I would love to really, really watch. I would love to really watch. So if I'm to use because one another thing is the market is obviously we're in a bearish market. So if you want anyone trading counter trend, is you want to be very extremely careful, right? Trading counter trend is something that one wants to be extremely careful. You have to try to, you could decide to use what's this called now? There's a trend line, right? So I could decide to use a trend line like this. And then if I'm using this, I could favor this as a possible breakout, whatever, come here. And then I want to be sure I'll have to add a little bit of harmonics now. But the fee will determine that. So from here to here should give me the 0.6. But it didn't give me. What it's giving me here is 0.5. No, so it's not a strong trade possibility or trade idea, sadly. But if not, if I had that confirmation, which I was trying to check now through the harmonics, I would have maybe used to look for a buy here, used here, stop loss, target here as well. But there are like I said, there are different trade strategies, different trade methods that favor different people put together to make their choices. Another thing you want to also look at is when you look at the BTC charts, the CME gap chart, there is a gap here at 82,000, 81,700, 81,700. So price will definitely go to fill that gap. Maybe you want to start from tomorrow or so, or we want to look at that price is definitely going to fill that gap before it continues going downwards, downwards, downwards as well to make whatever levels that it wants to make in the market, given some levels of profit within it. If you have questions to ask about Bitcoin and the market, please drop your questions and everything I just said now so I can take the questions. Okay. So before I go through the comments, someone asked the question yesterday that I think it's pretty um okay, right? I wouldn't say the person asked, and person was like me trying to, can I just simplify the multiple ways people get to earn or make money in Aurum? And so I think based on that, I'm just gonna say this briefly, and then we're gonna wrap up and we're done for today. Um, Aurum is more like basic. Aurum is basically what I would say a new generation AI fintech ecosystem that is combining three different things in one. Number one, a digital bank, which is the new banking, right? So you can move money between crypto and fiat, and you can spend this money just like you're using Revolut or using TransferWise with access to their cards, both virtual and physical. Number two is their crypto infrastructure. So their crypto infrastructure, which is very similar to early Binance and Binance started, where you can hold your assets, you can stake your assets, you can lock your assets, you can exchange your assets, you can even earn through the ecosystem tools, whatever they have. Like, they've got Binance Alpha, Binance this. People make money from all those things, right? You can make money from a lot of those things, right? And then number three is their AI finance layer, and the AI finance layer is what referred to as automated algorithms, where we have AGIs, which is artificial general intelligence, and agents at work. And these things are operating 24/7, right? Aiming to help optimize your earnings and make you and money, capitalizing on market opportunities, trading for us, generating profits without a need for manual trading. So you can think of Aurum as having Revolut, Binance, and an AI mutual fund or an AI hedge fund automation all in one ecosystem. All right. So nothing I'm saying about Aurum is basically financial advice, but it's an ecosystem that is making a good number of us a lot of money, and you could literally take advantage of it if you get to see the the benefits in it, and the numerous opportunity that is involved in it. So what are the multiple ways you get to make money in terms of Aurum? Number one, it's the autopilot trading, right? The robot trades for you. and you earn money even if you're sleeping. You earn without needing to lift a finger. That is number one. Number two, Aurum has their partner program. Now, in their partner program, you've got the legacy levels, right? Those legacy levels are whereby you rank from one level and then your income increases to that is number two. Number three, they've in still in their partner program, they've got benefits, right? In terms of when you share Aurum with others, when they join, you get some benefits in terms of referrals. Like so far so good. I've never posted my link or shared my link to anybody publicly except a few private individuals. But publicly, when I do live streams and I come here and do this, or I'm making posts online, I'm always using the links of different people, right? I'm using different people to I'm sharing the links of different people. So whatsoever link I share that you register on, that the moment you create you fund yourself or whatever, that person gets a reward, right? Could be 3%, could be 4%, could be 5%, whatever, but they're gonna get a reward, right? So if you share your own links too, you're gonna get that, right? And one of the reasons why I'm not sharing my link is because my focus it's basically to reiterate the same thing. And what I'm reiterating is my focus is basically to see how this is going to help a lot of people, right? I've already maxed out like the XAI bot. I have a maxed account running on it. So um helping a lot of people in the community and is I think that's much of what my goal and what I really want, right? In terms of if you talk about clients, in terms of I have the network, the network, the private network enough that pulls in an ungodly amount of money that whatever forms of awareness I'm doing in terms of even if 100 or 200 or 500% comes, the amount of money 500% they bring, it won't even be up to one of the individuals I work with personally. So it's not I literally just get them in. So what we're doing here just to help more people, right? So that is there, right? So you can take advantage of it. And number four, it's the Visa card, right? The Visa card, you make money from it too. You make money from the Visa cards, the Mastercards as well. The Mastercard, you make money from that as well. You make money from the Visa cards as well. And they've got the Zeus AI bot, right? I don't know how many things I've mentioned now. They've got the Zeus AI bot. You make money from that because it's altcoin trading. It trades altcoins for you. It trades Solana, it trades Ethereum, it trades Dogecoin, it trades Pipcoin as well. So you can use it. It's just like what we do, just like mining, but it is not mining now. It trades the altcoin market, those specific coins as well, and it generates more of that coin for you. So let's say you've got like if you got like 10 Ethereum running in the Zeus bots in a month, you could be getting like 1.5 Ethereum, right? Every single month. I'm just giving you a rough estimate based on my own experience, right? So whatever works for you. And they have the other things I've mentioned, which is RW, which is coming, the Aurum Flow and all that, which is coming as well. And then body shareholder, right? If you ask me where could be my interest, that is where it is, right? Everybody has their interest, so that's my interest. They've got the global shareholder, right? The global shareholder, there you begin to earn from that the shares, the major share dividends, yearly, annually, and biannually share dividends, within their ecosystem as well. So they've got all that part aspects of it, right? They've got the XAI Pro bot. The XAI Pro bot is different from the XAI bot as well, but that gives about 5% per month. You earn money from that too. And they've got the license, right? The license, I think that's where you need to use the token. Use the token, you buy the Aurum token, and then use it to get the license. And the license is for arbitrage trading, right? I don't know, I can't really say how much it is because I am not doing it, right? And I will not tell you what I'm not doing. The one I'm doing, I'm seeing. That's the one I would say that okay, I've done this, so this is how it's coming out for me. So I don't like saying about what I have not done or what I have not explored, right? So maybe there are a couple of other people who have explored it, but personally myself, I haven't. So I'm okay with what I'm doing already. I don't like to do more than myself, do faster than myself, right? If this is giving money and this one is giving money, then I build my plan around that. Like I said, everything is about planning. Everything is about agenda. The plan is I'm accumulating, right? I'm doubling down and accumulating and leveraging on this right now. I head up the next 2 years, the next 3 years, the next 4 years, right? You're looking at Aurum is setting a vision for the next from here now to 2025. The question you ask yourself is if Aurum is setting a vision from now to 2025, what vision am I setting from now to 2030? Or what vision am I setting from now to 2028? What vision am I setting from now to 2028? So in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, what vision am I setting for myself? And now, believe me or not, in the next 6 months, Aurum will be widespread across Africa, across Nigeria, across Ghana, across Togo, across most of these countries. Because by the time the exchange is live, which is also going to be another money spinning income for a lot of you now, when the exchange is live, it's gonna blow out of proportion, out of proportion, such that any single person who you have not told us shared Aurum with will be the one telling you about a new exchange, a new crypto exchange. This is what they offer as well. So it's gonna blow out of proportion. Definitely, that is certain to happen, right? And when that happens, you either be hearing people's testimony result from it so far, or you'll be on the soil and being among the ones who will be sharing testimonies with others. So it's up to you, right? Based on your own personal plan, based on your own personal agenda. What is your plan? What are you organizing? How have you organized this year, or have you organized the next 2 years, and how you approaching that? So it all boils down to you. So what I'm just sharing to you is my own plan on what I'm doing and how I'm doing what I am doing. So quickly, I'll just go through the questions that I haven't answered. So I said, please, I invested $100 in Aurum over 1 week. I haven't seen it for $2. It's like I'm not on the right ball. Please, I need help. I do not know why you have to. I don't know. Maybe you send me what you did on DM. I don't know. You have to send me what you did on DM so I can be able to literally give you the correct answer, right? If it's the Pro bot you went to do and not the XAI bot as well. Like I said, the the Pro XAI Pro bot gives less money than the XAI bot. The XAI bot gives more money, but at the same time, the smaller the amount of money, the smaller what you get. Because if the money is small, the company their profit sharing is up to 40%, and you're taking 60%. So you smaller money, right? The bigger the amount of money, the bigger return. The company collects a lesser profit sharing from you and then leaves more for you as well. So if you're in the biggest package like myself, the company only takes about 5% and gives us 95%. The profit sharing is like bigger margin as well. But even if like let's say in a 5K plan or whatever plan, the company still gives you something a little bit more sizable on that aspect too as well. Um, Rich Coach investment is just but Shifu, you said you have an ungodly amount of Ethereum. That is mind blowing. Please, which token can I buy in ungodly quantity and look forward for like 10 years to come? Well, what I would say is I'm going to share all that for people who are in the Aurum Founders Club, right? I'll share you guys in the Aurum Founders Club what I'm doing personally, what my roadmap is, personally, what I am like using my Aurum earnings to accumulate and all that put together. I'll give it to you guys. Like I said, the reason for the club is helping people in that club to really, really, really because those your testimonies and your results is gonna be that's gonna be my selling point, right? It's gonna be my selling point in the future in everything that is being done as well. And they're helping a lot of people get the results that they should for their lives, for their financial lives and all that as well. So I'm gonna like do that for you guys in the Aurum Founders Club as well. So just make sure you are there, right? There. I'm not going to literally say that publicly on this live call. So I think I've answered every question there is right now, and we've done a little bit of review in terms of talking about what you should expect in the first quarter, the second quarter, and the third quarter, and the fourth quarter of the year, as well as also talking about where you can now expect the bottom of the market in terms of price. And then we also talked about in terms of timing as well. And then we looked at the mid and short term, and I showed you guys my analysis report that my team helped me to put together and organize very well in a more presentable way to share with you guys starting from this week what we're looking at the next 1 week or 2 weeks in the market being bullish, and then looking at to start selling from the last week into the month of March, and then looking at to get that bottom in March, right? And then we get the bottom in March, looking into the second to the third week, we should finally get that, and then we get that dead cat bounce, which gives and offers a long opportunity, but just short for, and then the market gets into an accumulation that could take 1 month, or it could even take 2 months. How long the market accumulates, nobody can determine that because you are not the market, you are not the institution, right? Nobody can determine how long it accumulates, but we all know that it just accumulates, and then we stock it and we're knocking in, and then to achieve. But why is that accumulating? Opportunities will be there. A lot of opportunities will be there as well to help people and shape people's life, right? And a lot of confidence will start coming in and rebounding before finally it then lifts up, right? It then lifts up as well. And what's the last thing we stated? So I also now shared in terms of charts the price levels for entry, which I'm looking at to buy and which I'm looking at to sell. And I also made it very clear that you may not be using the same strategy I'm using in terms of entry, but if you have your own strategy that favors entry, all you just need to do is this session is recorded, is left here. It's going to be on the YouTube. You can always go back to it and watch it, right? I didn't, like I said, that's why I left the screenshot. I left it for a long time, so you could literally always see what you could see each of the distance to refer to it to know that okay, this is a date Shifu wrote here. That's what you're looking at as well. And I also stated it very clear that I'm going to actually still post it on X, so it may still be confusing for a lot of people trying to interpret this, and except somebody who has understanding of financial arts through a lot. So what I will do is I will still summarize everything and then post it by tomorrow on my X, on my Twitter X, and I think I'll also post it on Facebook. So I'll post on both Twitter and Facebook, right? And I post in both places, so both Twitter and Facebook, so you can really see both of them. I may post on LinkedIn too, so Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn, because I'm trying to be more active in this platform. So they'll be on X, on Facebook, and LinkedIn at the same time. So whichever of the platform, I think you're going to see it, and then you can save it somewhere, share it, and this, and then keep up with it and use it to make your informed trading decisions in the next week, and next 2 weeks, next week. The analysis covers from now till like the ending of March, right? So if there's going to be changes in time, I may be able to. I will still we're doing live every day, so I'm going to like share that. Okay, there's a change in time, and all this put together, and then we can look forward towards it as well. Someone says, Shifu, are those who activated Aurum with one? Will there be? I mean, yes, for now. The Aurum Founder Club closes tonight, closes by 12 at 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. tonight. So it's gonna close late in the night. So hopefully I'm gonna tell my team to close the form. So it depends on if she closes it before she sleeps off, or she closes it by tomorrow morning. But whenever the form should be closed, either late this night or tomorrow morning, it should be closed. And then access to the Forum Founders Club is going to be closed for the next 1 month. It's going to be open sometime in March as well. But by the time it opens in March, it won't only be people who've activated with $100. It will only be for people who've activated with a minimum of $1,000 and above. These are the people will be accepted in the month of March. And still yet, it will just be open for 3 days, right? So every 1 month or 2 or 3 months, we'll have an opening for the Aurum Founders Club, but it will just be for a short period of time, for just 3 days, and people could be allowed in as well, right? And I think that's that for now. That's that for now. Okay, guys, bye for now, and have an amazing week as well in your trading. The market opens in a couple of hours time in your stuff as well. But I'm too. I don't think I'm really like what's it called now? I don't think I'm really interested in actually. Oh God, I'm supposed to enter a trade. My goodness, it's all good. It's all good. But I'm not. I'm not like. I've not really had time to stick and start analyzing charts. I'm too. I'm too tired for now. I think I'm just watching a movie today, and I just continue watching my movie as well. But there was a trade I wanted to share too, but I wanted to enter that trade before I share it, and I did not enter, and it's already moving. I'm feeling sad about that already. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's what it is. Bye for now, everyone. And the market is opening, and then I think we've got like we've got something on currencies. We've got something on gold, on silver, sorry, and something on one of that trade. So let's see how it goes. And let's see how it goes. Sometimes this things, the market does what it does, right? Like you can see, even Bitcoin has been ranging. That's one thing with trading. If you're a trader, the market could be, and that is the difference between those of us who are human beings and AI trading. When AI trading is different, it's automated. It's it responds to just little swings. All it needs is just 0 point something movement in the market, and it closes it. It's not like us trying to catch 10 arrow, 20 arrow, and all that put together. And that's what favors, and why I believe that Aurum is a good opportunity for anybody who wants to really make that side income and passive income without stress for themselves, right? Okay, guys, wish you all an amazing evening. If you haven't funded your account, make sure you fund your account as well. Everybody who have filled that form, I think about a good number of people were booted out by my team. But if you've not been accepted in maybe it's because you did not. You say that there's some people fill the form and they haven't actually activated, so they were removed. But people who actually have funded and activated, they were all accepted in as well. So I think they've gone through the whole form. So, but if you did maybe in the afternoon, I don't think they've gone through yet. So probably by tomorrow when the form closes, they're going to look through the remaining list of people maybe who joined in tonight and not as well before closing the form. Right. Like I said, Aurum continues. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a 30 days presentation for Aurum every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day. So that's why the Aurum Founders Club, join the Aurum Founders Club closes doesn't stop the fact that I will continue doing the presentation. I will continue the presentation, and maybe we'll create a general WhatsApp channel where people can join in to just share general updates on Aurum, right? That's what people who are not in the Aurum Founders Club, you can just have a feel of okay, knowing what is happening there for you guys. All right, guys. Bye for now.